Hey, what's going on, everybody? Movie Phantom here, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I am sick of shit right now. It's good times here at the Phantom household. However, hey, we soldier on, we keep going. And I'm not gonna let this interfere with this. So, tonight, if you didn't already read in the description or the title down below, is the Movie Phantom's horror review, and we're gonna be reviewing Ginger Snaps and the original Hills Have Eyes. Blammo. Alright, let me hit up, and both these movies were, I'm on that list. I'm knocking out all the movies that the 13th Wolfman requested, so I finally got around to them. Still on that road. We're going to start off with Ginger Snaps. Basically, a young girl gets bitten by a werewolf, and you just kind of see what happens. Mostly through the eyes of her little sister. Ginger Snaps came out in 2000, and I actually owned it a long time ago. I had it on VHS. I don't know how I came across it. I think someone gave it to me, and I just never watched it. It just seemed like a chick horror flick, and I just didn't even bother with it. But I've always heard great things. Like, everybody always said how good it was. And just, it's around time that I'm transitioning into DVDs, and then I started giving away my VHSs, and that was just one of them I got rid of, I guess. So, however, here we are now, and this is on the list. It gave me an excuse to watch it, and you know what? It was really good. I was surprised at how good this movie was. We start with the cast first. We got Emily Perkins, which most of you guys probably remember her as being the girl from It, the young girl. What the fuck was her name? Sorry, I'm not cooled up right now, guys. The brain's not quite working like it usually does. Anyways, but yeah, she's from It, and then we got Catherine Isabel, which, for me personally, I like her from Freddy vs. Jason. However, she's also did American Mary, and she did something else. I didn't care for American Mary that much, but they both do really good job here in this movie. So basically, like I said, and I'm sure most of you guys have seen it, I'm just going to kind of give a brief rundown. Both these young sisters are just kind of outcasts in schools. They're very close in age, one's 16, one's 17. Sorry, one's 16, one's 15, and Emily Perkins is the younger of the two. And basically, what happens is, while they're out one night, I think they're trying to get revenge on the queen bitch's dog. Like, there's the queen bee of the school. She just a cunt to them, and they're all fuck with her dog, or I can't something like that. And anyways, this werewolf comes down nowhere and bites Catherine Isabel, and guess what? We all know what happens. Turns into a werewolf. The one thing I really liked about this is, and it's not like it's a hidden, I mean, you could see plainly the metaphor there, but see, she just got her period, and you could tell that now as she got bit by this werewolf, her body's changing, and it's almost like this metaphor between, like, you know, the change that a woman goes through, you know, from puberty into, you know, whatever, or from adolescence to puberty. And then, of course, she's also being transformed into a werewolf. So there is, you know, those similarities right there. And I really just liked that whole thing. Once again, they're not very, and I don't know, maybe they think they were. They're not very subtle about it, but I think that's okay. I guess kind of the joke of it. Like, you know, you're almost, that's one of the many things that they kind of like, you know, do a little nudge and a wink, you know, to the camera. There's a scene where, because the scar she has on her, where the werewolf bit her or clawed her, there's hair growing out of there. And she asks, like, the guidance counselor, like, what about hair that, you know, grown out weird places? And of course the teacher's just like, oh, that's natural, and blah, blah, blah. And I just thought that was pretty funny right there. I don't know what the guy's name was. I don't have the DVD, but cause I watched this on YouTube. You can find it on YouTube, so if you haven't had a chance to check it out, check it out. I'm sure it's also on Netflix too. Anyways, the guy who, I think his name was Sam, he was the drug dealer that kind of helps out B, the little sister, Emily Perkins. I think her name is Bridget, and they just call her B. But anyways, and of course Ginger is the older sister. But anyways, I really liked him and his performance. He kind of reminded me of Ryder Strong from Boy Meets World and Cabin Fever. He just had that kind of appeal to him, and I really dug that. But yeah, no, I mean, I thought his performance was really good. I mean, really all the performances were pretty solid. But yeah, no, I mean, I really dug him. Like, I kind of wish they would have gave him a little more screen time, and we could have delved into that character a little bit more. But it is about the sisters. That's another thing I really like about this is I don't know, that family dynamic is pretty great. Speaking to anybody out there who has brothers or sisters, regardless of how close you are, or if you guys fought, I don't know. I drew a lot of parallels there. Like, well, what if Lynch got bitten by a werewolf? Would I try to stick by him as much as B sticks by Ginger? Yeah, I absolutely would. You wouldn't want him to flip out and go full wolf on anybody. You want to try to bring him back. And I really like that. I don't know. It's almost like there's not really. I'm getting off topic here. I like the fact that regardless as if the cure worked or not, she's still gonna go all the way with her sister, to the point of even infecting herself to show the loyalty there. And I really like that. The other thing I thought was kind of interesting was the way they devised this cure, but they never really quite shown if it works or not. There was a guy, she has sex with this guy, claws him up very badly, but then of course he turns into a werewolf. And anyway, he starts showing the symptoms of he's going through the mood swings or whatever. Anyways, Emily Perkins B hits him with the I forget what it was. It wasn't wolfbane. It was something else, some other kind of plant or something like that. But they boil it down or whatever. But he reacts differently. But they never really said if it cured him or not. So I was always curious if this cure would work or not. So I don't know. They did make 2 sequels, so apparently it didn't really work all that great. There's Ginger Snaps 2 Unleashed, and then Ginger Snaps Back, which is a prequel of sorts. So, but yeah, I really do want to see the other 2. I hear they're not nearly as great as the first one. But I really like the first one. It's a lot better than I thought it would be. Very well written. And it's not, I shouldn't say, from the cover, and this goes to the old adage, don't ever judge a DVD by its cover. It did have this chick look to it, but it's really not. Yes, it's written by a woman, but it does not have any kind of feminist feel to it. It's a good old-fashioned horror movie. The one thing that I did think was kind of, if I'm just being honest, if I laid out the good, it's a lot of good to it. The fact that there's no CGI, it's all practical effects, I really like too. The one iffy thing, and this ain't really a big complaint, this is something I noticed, and it's more humorous than a complaint, I guess. The direction and just the way the cinematography looked, it looked like an episode of Goosebumps. Like, I shit you not. I'm not saying it was an episode of Goosebumps. It's clearly an R-rated for a reason. There's a lot of language and violence like that. But it just seemed like a lot of camera. They did a lot of tilting camera angles and just extreme close-up zooms and everything like that. And it just felt like if you would have added some wacky, Goosebumps, Are You Afraid of Dark music in the background, it would have fit right in on Saturday Morning Fox. I'm just saying, it had that feel at times. I'm just like, wow, really? But anyways, overall, big thumbs up. I highly recommend it. If you're a fan of the werewolf genre, if you're just a fan of horror in general, check it out. So, thanks for watching with me. I appreciate it. And the other one is a movie that I've always considered a classic. I'm a big fan. Kind of hate that I got around this long to review it, but the original Hills Have Eyes. And, yes, so, I hate reviewing movies that are so well known because I have nothing new to add that hasn't already been, said by everybody out there on the internet. So I will make this one quick because I'm not feeling the greatest. Basically, we all know the story. The Carter family is heading on they're leaving LA or going to LA. Either way, it doesn't matter. They're on vacation. The dad wants to see the silver mine, so he decides to cut through this part of the desert. And of course, what happens is his car breaks down. And of course, the surrounding hills are inhabited by this family of mutants and everything. And of course, it becomes this battle of survival. Yes, absolutely adore this movie. It is just it's excellent in almost every sense. I love the fact that it's the low budget quality of it. It is a very low budget movie, but it has a very natural look to it, a very raw look, and it kind of harkens. I'm not gonna say it completely harkens back, but it kind of harkens back to Wes Craven's first movie, Last House on the Left, where it almost had a very real documentary style. And I just noticed watching it again because I want to say the last thing I saw was the remake, which I am not a fan of the remake, many people love it. I personally don't. But it just had more of a realistic quality than the remake. The remake just had this big, it was 70 grit looking, but it is a glossy grit, and I don't know. This one just seemed, it's real, you know what I mean? The performances are great, really the only one I know from the cast is besides Michael Berryman, who, boom, right there. But from the actual family, it was Dee Walls. I don't recognize anybody else from that group, so I really couldn't, about them. But Dee Walls is really great in this movie. The one thing I love about this movie, I think, what resonates with me, and this was just a theme of Wes Craven's, he's had in a lot of his movies, is ordinary people who are put in these really extreme circumstances, and watching them kind of break out of that shell of just being an everyday, civilian and fighting back, tapping into their most primal state and kind of becoming more savage than their attackers to fight back. You've seen this in Last House on the Left, and even to an extent, you can even say you saw it in Nightmare on Elm Street. I mean, Nancy has to kind of tap into something dark and deep to, finally say enough's enough. She's tired of being the victim. She's fighting back against Freddy. And that's what you see in this one here. I mean, I don't know what to say about this movie. I mean, seriously, anything I say is just going to be the same generic regurgitation you hear all the time here on YouTube, so I'll make it short. It's just, it's just a damn good movie. I think the performances are all very real. The story itself is great, and if you've never seen it, this or the remake, it's very unpredictable. I remember the first time I watched it, I didn't know who was going to make it and who wasn't. Like, it had that kind of feel. Like, typically, when you watch a horror film, and I'm saying typically, there are exceptions, but usually with a horror film, you know who's going to bite it, and who's going to survive to the end. And here, really, the family, it was just, it was fair game. Like, you didn't know who was going to make it to the end or whatever. I really dug it. It crosses all those boundaries, which, not as graphic as the rape scene in Last House on the Left, but there is a rape scene. It's more implied than anything else, but still the implication is very hollowing. I got words I can't say. Anyways, but no, it's still, it doesn't lack the brutality of Last House on the Left, in my opinion, because there's a baby involved, there is a family involved, dude. People are just getting taken out. And what's really scary to me was, and I'll drop, because this is 1977, so I'll go ahead and drop some spoilers. The scene where, the dad is taken away, and he's, crucified to a cactus or whatever. Or maybe it was just a crow, I can't remember. But he's strung up, and they fucking douse him, and they catch him on fire. The remaining family run out, and there's that one scene where one of the guys, I think it's is he Pluto? Michael Berryman? I think it's Pluto. Anyways, he's inside, and he's got the younger sister. And she's on the bed, and he has his hand over her. Well, the brother-in-law or whatever is inside there, and of course he doesn't look over. He just says, "Hey, watch the baby," real quick, and he runs outside. I mean, the fact that your family's there, and it just took a slight turn of the head to save you, but they ran outside, so they're outside trying to help Bob out. He's being burned alive right now. And then her brutal rape happens there. And to me, that was just so much more disturbing, I guess, just because it is like they're so close. They're really just like on the other side of the wall, or they're maybe a little further ahead. But yeah, it still went down. Reason I like this one better than the remake because really, the remake, it was less of a remake and it was more of a carbon copy. It was the same basic plot. They swapped out a couple of elements here and there, but it just felt like there was nothing new that the remake was really giving us. This just felt, this still feels fresh today. Like I just got done watching it over this past week, and I'm just like, wow, this is still great. Whereas the remake just seems, I like the family dynamic a little bit better. It didn't change much, but it seemed like they were more on the same page. Like in the other ones, there's a little bit more bickering between the dad and the son-in-law, or whatever. And not really bickering, but it just seems like it just seems like here everybody's more on the same page, and I like that better. It's that idyllic family. Like, they really did take the most idyllic family. And then you get the other family, which, granted, they're savages, they're mutants, whatever, cannibals. But you're seeing these two families clash, and that's what I think is the main thing. That's what I really like about this. This was followed by a sequel, The Hills Have Eyes Part 2, which Wes Craven, I hear, has completely disowned it. I liked it. I thought it was really good. I've only seen it once. It was like late night on like Cinemax or some shit a long time ago. But I remember really digging it. The storyline's a little ridiculous, and how they get the kids on the bus to that location is retarded as fuck. But whatever. It was still an enjoyable movie. And then, like I said, it was remade later on, which I completely, I own it. I do not like the remake. And then of course that remake was also a sequel, which I actually like the remake sequel better, but than the remake. But yeah, no, this is the classic. You haven't had a chance to check this out. I highly recommend it. Wes Craven, top of his game. I always say top of his game, but he's in prime form here. So all right, guys, I am sorry for if my voice wasn't loud enough. I'm not sure exactly what's going to pick up on this, so I do apologize for that in advance. And just thank you for sticking out with me. I appreciate it. Ginger Snaps, Hills Have Eyes. Recommend both of them. Check them both out. So all right, guys.